What's the lighting like? We're not dark, are we?
Don't Believe the Hype Show.
Every Thursday, fortnightly.
For news, views, reviews, and more.
Join host Barry Kelso and guests from 6:30 p.m. Thursdays, fortnightly.
Don't Believe the Hype Show. Don't Believe the Hype.
Yeah.
And you're live.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Don't Believe the Hype Show. I'm Valerie Kelso, and tonight we have got a special guest that you all need to hear, because with everything that's going on in the world right now, Letitia Smiley is going to tell us a little bit about her journey. I'm not going to say too much because you know me, I like my clients, not my clients, well, she's a client, but I like any guests that come onto our show to share their journey and what they have gone through. But before I get into the show, I would like to thank PLT Massage and Wellness for sponsoring the show. And any proceeds that we do get from the show will help a woman or a young girl that's going through domestic violence, abuse, sex trafficking, any life-altering situation. So without further ado, I am going to introduce Letitia Smiley to you all. I know I've just mentioned your name, but I would like for you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Letitia Smiley, and I am a Christian, and I ran into Miss Valerie here. I am a transplant from Louisiana here to Fort Worth, and I've been here about 15 years. And in doing that, I have done a lot in the community with volunteering and things of that nature. But the last 4 or 5 years have been a different type of thing that I've been doing. It's not been volunteering, but it's been a life journey that is going to allow me to tell and share about things that have transpired that may help other individuals.
Okay, so how long have you been here in Texas?
I've been in Texas since about 2010-ish.
Okay.
And I came from Jacksonville, Florida by way of Louisiana. So, yes.
So do you like this beautiful weather we're experiencing at this moment?
At this moment, I mean, the weather is the weather. I do love the heat. I mean, I like being warm. I don't like the cold. So I'm waiting for the summer. I'm a Leo baby. So
okay,
yeah.
I'm a Gemini. So maybe that's why I can't stand the cold. Why I've got this thick jacket on. So yeah. So Letitia, I wanted you to come on our show tonight to tell the audience a little bit about your journey that you've gone through over the last couple of years, not just with your journey and what has inspired has gone on in your life over the last. I just want them to share your journey.
Okay, well, my journey today, we're talking about breast cancer and how it can affect you as an individual and the family. I say breast cancer, but then I say cancer in general as well. Cancer came about in my life because I had to be a caregiver for my mother some years back, about 3 to 4 years ago. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and being a state away, I was in Texas and I was driving back and forth to Louisiana to take care of and help with the care process of my mother, who had cancer, breast cancer. She had scleroderma, and my father, who was also there, who was actually clinically blind. So I had to help her get back and forth to doctor's appointments when I wasn't there. She had her brother there who was actually helping transport her to and from, but I was on the telephone calls all the time. I was looking at the reports. I was reading the reports. I was asking different friends about different things. I was researching because I wanted her to get the best possible care that she could get there in the state of Louisiana. You know, Louisiana health system is a little bit different from Texas, and so you have to advocate for yourself a little bit more there.
All right, because I thought your mom was here because there's an awesome lady that does advocacy for women, well, for anyone. You know what I mean? So she does a little bit of that as well, and she was on one of our previous shows. So I didn't realize your mom wasn't in Texas. I thought she was in
a whole nother state away.
Okay. You see, for me, every state feels like it's Texas, but it isn't. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I just wanted. I met Letitia last year.
Yes, correct. Last year.
And how did we meet?
Well, we met. And I don't think anything is a coincidence. I was approached by someone who I worked with, and she had heard that I had a diagnosis of cancer, and she actually wrote a little message on a small sheet of paper, and she put Valerie's name on here, and she says Purple Touch Foundation. She says, she folded up and she gave it to me. She says, I want you to contact her. She says, I think that she can help you. And I look at everything as a blessing. So I was like, okay, should I call? And I put this number in a very special place, and I decided to open it up one day, and I went ahead and I called. And when Miss Valerie called me back, she was on the telephone with me for over an hour. I'm like, yes, you were.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, who talks to a therapist for a whole hour before you even, meet her? But she was telling me about her foundation and what she did. And I was letting her know that I was a newly diagnosed cancer patient, triple negative. I found out in November of 2022. So going into that holiday season, I learned that's what was going on, and I learned that I was in stage 3, and that I had to have an aggressive treatment plan. And so I was used to getting massages all the time. This young lady says, no, it's something different. You just need to try her out. And I said, okay, I'll try her out. I don't have anything to lose right now. And so by the time I had saw Miss Valerie, I had already begun my chemotherapy treatment. And I was on chemotherapy for 6 months. And while I was on that chemotherapy, a lot of things came about that I was able to do. And I knew that Miss Valerie was going to actually help me through my healing journey.
So what does a mammogram process consist of? Because I know I've helped you, but I need to go back a little bit to the beginning of your journey, because I wasn't there in that part. And many women out there who are going to be newly diagnosed, I feel that you could share a light on what that process.
Well, you always hear people say, go ahead and get your mammograms. Early detection is key. But a lot of people don't know what the mammogram process entails. And so it's just like taking a picture. You have to go in. Some of people who have their insurance is covered, but if you don't have insurance, don't let that be a reason that you don't get your mammogram, because there are agencies out there that will help you do that. When you go in, they just examine the breast. They kind of do a kind of collapsed picture. From that, sometimes you may get a call back, and when you get a call back, they don't want to star you, but there's something else sometimes that they want to look at. And when you get that call back, most women are like terrified and they're scared. And sometimes they do an ultrasound. So they may ask you to come back to do another ultrasound, a sonogram, a scan like that. Mm-hmm. And depending on what that shows, so when they come in, you're on the bed, and it's just have the wand, and then they'll do measurements of what they find. And from that, they'll let a radiologist look at it. Depending on what it is, you may be called back by another physician, or they may let you know, hey, you need to do a biopsy. So what is a biopsy? So these are 3 stages. You have your mammogram, then you have your ultrasounds, your sonograms, and then you have a biopsy. A biopsy is when they go in with a little needle, and they, for lack of better words, they take samples from your tissue breast, and they put it under close exam to see if the cells show that there is a abnormality or if there's cancer growth there.
So what made you, did you just go for your normal checkup?
I just went for my normal checkup. There was no pain, there was no symptoms, nothing like that. And so I was just going for my regular normal exam, and that's how it was caught. And I do want to iterate that it was just my annual. So I didn't have a big gap. There was not a 2 or 3 year gap in my mammograms.
So what was the appointments and calls, and did you have to do a lot of that?
So after I was called back and I was told that I had cancer, that all of the calls, they started coming. So I got a call from an imaging place. I got a call from an MRI place. I got a call from an oncologist. I got a call from just all of these people just were inundating me, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. And you get these callbacks. So I want women who have been newly diagnosed to know that once you go through that they tell you have cancer, you are going to get these calls. But I want you to know that you have a voice in your treatment team. A lot of times people see you as a number, and they just say, okay, we're going to put these referrals out. This is your oncologist. Your oncologist is your cancer specialist. This is your radiologist. This is who's doing this or that. But you have a say-so in who provides care for you, and you have to have a good relationship and understanding with that provider of what your expectations are, what their expectations are, what the regular treatment plan is, and just to let them know, hey, I'm not a regular person. I am an individual, so I need my treatment to be individualized as well.
So could you choose your doctor, or was it what they actually gave you?
Initially going off is what they gave me. And I want to share an experience that I had. I meet with all of my doctors, and I let them know how I am. I get copies of my records, and I do all of that. But this one particular doctor, the ebb and flow wasn't there. And he provided, care for me. And I had to have a port put into my body because I had to have so much chemotherapy. When that port was put into my body, I kind of had a allergic reaction initially, and I called that physician and I said, hey, I'm noticing this is different. He didn't give me anything. He basically kind of shunned me, and I had to let him know when I saw him again that I was not very pleased with that. If I'm calling you because I'm paying attention to my body, and I want you to respect me enough as a patient to conversate with me. I later, about a month and a half, I had gone to an event, and I came from that event, and that particular night I was just hurting, and the pain in my body just got more and more intense and more extreme. And it was on the side where that port was placed. I was very fatigued. I started to lose strength. I couldn't walk from here to about 25 feet. And at that time, I said, I need to come in. I needed to be tested. He told me the device was okay. When I went in to have it checked, they did the dye test. It was wonderful. But the radiologist who was in the room with me knew me. And they knew what type of person I was. And they knew my bubbly spirit and, how I do. And he was like, something's not right. At that point, I had to advocate for myself and say, hey, if that port is not working and you see me and I can't do this, I need you to take that out of me. He's no longer my doctor. And at that point, I had to step out on faith, because who am I going to believe? Am I going to believe that doctor? Am I going to believe what the Holy Spirit is telling me about my body? And I do believe that I am here because of that, because I think if I wouldn't have listened, that could have been a part demise myself.
That is it. No. I'm glad that you know your body, because a lot of women out there do not know their body.
Correct.
And now, me, I'm always telling you, know your body, get to know you, because then when you get to know your own body, then that's how you know if you're sick, what's going on.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So financially, what was the cost? Was it
Financially, when you get into this, I would admonish everyone to have some type of insurance coverage. If you don't, there are programs out there for you. Is it expensive? Yes, but are you going to be denied coverage? No, you're not going to be denied coverage. The thing about it, though, if you don't have a team around you, or if you don't have a navigator with you, then it may be hard to find those agencies that are out there to help. Because you hear of the Cancer Society, and you hear of things like that, but everybody is vying for that pot of money.
Mm-hmm.
When you go in for your appointments, you let those appointment people know, hey, I don't have it, but I have to care for myself. What's out there? How can you help me? And there's some help out there.
So was it easy navigating to get that help, or did you or was it a lot of calls? Was it a lot of knocking on doors?
To me, it was not easy, but I'm a type of person, I'm a resourceful person. So I don't give up easy, and I always call around. But for someone who does not know, or for someone who is not techno savvy, or for someone who does not know where to look, it can be so overwhelming, because I feel like I had it together, and I was off my rockers. I was like, this is too much. I'm tired. I don't want to have to explain this over and over and over again. And it wasn't until I was pretty much on my treatment regimen. It wasn't until I was on that regimen that those calls stopped. And like I said, the calls will take you from a high to a low. You'll be ready to answer some questions sometimes, and the other times you just want to break down, on the phone crying to these people, because it's just like you're another number, but you want to do what's best for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is a mastectomy?
A mastectomy. A mastectomy is a procedure that women with breast cancer, if they have to have that done, they remove the breast tissue. And this is to keep cancers from coming back in that particular part of the body. If it has been invasive, it has gone throughout, and if they want to prevent it as well, then you can do it. But when you talk about biopsies, the different treatment forms are, like we said, the chemotherapy, but then they have a lot of people say the mastectomy, and they know about cutting the breast off, but most people don't know what a lumpectomy is.
That's my next question. I'm going to ask you, what is
The
lumpectomy?
Yes. The lumpectomy is just when they go in and they take a portion of that breast tissue out instead of all of the breast tissue. So I do want to say that it depends on the treatment, which way you're going to go. Some people have just a lumpectomy. Some people have a combination. Some people have to have all of it done. And it just depends on, how your body responds to treatment and what your genes kind of look like.
So I've been working with you throughout the whole process and your journey, and I've seen you go through radiation, and I've seen you go through chemo. What is the difference between the radiation and chemo?
I'm glad that you asked me that, because a lot of people just say chemo, chemo, chemo. They hear radiation, radiation, radiation. All of it is medicine, and all of it is a treatment. To break down what chemotherapy is, it's a series of drugs that are given to you. I want you to think of it like it's an IV bag, where you get like fluids. When you go to the hospital, they'll hook you up and they'll get the saline solution going, and then the medicine or the chemotherapy will then do a slow drip throughout the body, and that's called the infusion time. So the time that you are sitting in an infusion room, it's kind of like a waiting room. You have a nice, recliner chair. They give you a blanket, and then they hook you up, and either you can have it in your veins or you can have it in the port. And so that's what chemotherapy is. Now, the other radiation, like, well, what is radiation? So think of chemo as chemicals, chemo C, and think of radiation as hot. Think of it as burning, a sensation. And so what it is, it's kind of like gamma rays. It's like you going in to get an x-ray for your arm and you see that your arm is broken. Instead of just that one time of that x-ray, you will have wherever you're being treated, they'll have those rays go into the body. And when the rays go into the body, it's targeting and it is trying to kill and burn the remaining remnants of any cancer cells that may be in the body. So when we talk about side effects of radiation, radiation causes discoloration, it causes burning, it causes chafing, it causes tearing of skin, whereas the side effects to chemotherapy can be fatigue, it can be throwing up, it can be diarrhea, it can be loss of appetite and things of that nature.
So I've seen you go through your journey, and I didn't know the full extent. I'm not going to say, yes, Valerie knew everything, because I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when you came in and the whole of your back was burnt.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at it now, it's a big difference. It's like night and day, you know. And earlier on, you talked about your mom having breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that people should get genetic testing for breast cancer? If you, like, one parent has already had it, would you recommend a child to go and do genetic testing or not?
Genetic testing, I do recommend that you do genetic testing. Just sharing a little bit of my story. I knew that my mom had breast cancer, but she didn't have the genetic testing.
Mm-hmm.
But I went ahead and I did it. And I'm glad that I did it because I saw that I had the marker for several types of cancer, which kind of determined kind of some of the treatment plans that I did, and things that I'm going to have to do going forward in the future. I would also like to share that sometimes people don't know who their family is, you know, their family secrets, and you may be adopted, but you need to know. And I say that because even though you have the genetic testing, sometimes it comes back as yes, you have a gene. Sometimes it comes back as no. I want to share that my father as well, while I was going through radiation, was diagnosed with prostate cancer as well. And I had to go right over that whole spew again, from mom to me, now my dad. But Dad, you need to go ahead and get genetic testing. Well, why you need to get genetic testing? Because you already see you have, you have the gene. And I was sitting in a doctor's appointment literally less than a week ago, and this doctor was telling me, oh, we have the results for the genetic testing, and it says that your father doesn't carry the gene. I'm like, oh, really? And he says, well, you don't have to tell your children, your grandchildren. I was like, oh, really? And I was like, well, that's odd, because offspring, and I know what I just went through. Yeah. So sometimes it may not be absolute.
The doctor told you that your dad didn't have cancer, but yet your dad,
he didn't have the gene.
The gene,
yes,
but yet he's got cancer.
But they said it was kind of like a sporadic kind of incident, that it just so haphazardly just happened, and that could be the case for some people. Mm-hmm. But I know this just from my family that's a little bit different, because on my parental side, my grandfather had cancer, my grandmother had cancer, and I have 3 aunts that has breast cancer. So something's going on. But I do want to say environmental things can affect cancer as well. Right. So you have to be careful what you're ingesting into your body. You have all kinds of toxins, from what's in your water to what's in your food to what's in the air, and it's going to get worse and worse as we go through, and global warming and all the things that are going on in the world and society today. So you have to make sure that you're protecting yourself. And I want to also say, not only getting those massages and getting the blood to flow through the body and through the tissues and things like that, it helped me, I think, to be able to fight this in a positive way. Go ahead.
No, because considering you only just had it done recently, and I keep looking at you because it's like I've seen other women who have come in and they look drawn and tired and fatigued, but we started the process before you got to that stage to make sure your body was well oxygenated. People don't realize getting a massage is not a treat, it's a treatment.
Correct.
And the body has always got to be oxygenated, just like how you water your plants. It's the same way your body needs to be watered. And many times the body is so tight that we don't even know our body is tight until I get you on my table, and then you realize, oh my God, this woman's trying to kill me. And then when you get up and you feel the difference in your body and in the tissues and blood is flowing. And I keep telling my clients, if your body is blocked in one place, it's going to block it somewhere else. And that's what cuts the flow of the body. Even on your stomach, if you've had any form of surgery, you've already blocked some of your body, because now the body is no longer going how it's supposed to go. And looking at you, you look so amazing. Nobody would never have known that you have gone through what you've gone through over the last, I don't even think it's 6 weeks.
Oh, I think about 7. It's right at 7.
You know what I'm saying? And look at you.
Right.
Who would believe that this woman, you could tell them if you want to share that, you know what I'm saying?
So I did, I was finishing up what I consider one of the biggest parts of my journey. So I told you about all the treatment, but as preventative, because of gene testing and things like that, I did have to have a double mastectomy. So I've had a double mastectomy, and I'm up here and I'm moving around and I'm getting better. Do I feel it? Yes, but you have to keep moving, and day by day you're going to get stronger and stronger. But I do believe that all the things that we did beforehand ushered me into the place where I am today, and for that I'm thankful.
And you touched on about diets. You've got to have a balanced diet. You cannot be going to all these fast food places and thinking that is whole food and that's going to heal your body. No, you've got to start eating your beans. You've got to start eating your dark green vegetables. You've got to make sure you wash it properly. And even if it says organic, even if I buy an apple today, I take the skin off it, because if you look at all that shine on the apple, it's got a lot of toxins on the skin of the apple. So we've got to be mindful about a lot of things that you're putting in your body, because what might look healthy to you, read the content. And if you read something and it's got words that you do not understand, leave it alone, because that means it's not meant to be in your body.
Correct. I want to add to that. We say eat your fruits and your vegetables. I want to add organic is better, but I want to put out there, think of everything that's in this world that's made for us to eat can be propagated again. And that means it has to have a seed. So you need to be eating your vegetables and your fruits that have seeds.
That's right.
If they don't have seeds, they have been
organic.
Or they have been augmented and they have been changed. So something is artificial about them. And so it's not good for the body. Also think about the meat. When you're looking at your meats, if you're seeing those white pulsy things in meat, and if you, that's disease, that those are chemicals that is going into your body, and it's really not good. With your water, 9.5, your alkaline is closest to your blood. I would say drink that a lot and detoxify that body, and use your herbs and spices and things like that, natural.
And that's how you are supposed to eat, because when you think about the lifespan of people nowadays, how we live into 80, 90, or 100, that's because most of our food is artificial and it's not even real, and we don't even realize it. So I peel, like I was saying before, I peel my apples. I'm trying to cut down on my potatoes. And if you look at something, even when it says it's organic, you would be surprised at how much sugar they will put
Oh
in.
yeah.
Sneakingly, they will put it in on the
Mhm.
back end. So if you think you're only taking 4% of sugar, and then read the fine line, and it will tell you there's probably another 10 grams
Yeah.
of sugar added somewhere.
Mhm.
And people don't know all this. And if you're drinking all the diet cokes, everything that says diet, I'm going to tell you now, do not touch anything that says diet, because diet is not going to be good for you. It's better sometimes you eat the raw natural stuff rather than go through all this diet. Because to get a sugar-free product, I always tell my clients, how can you take sugar out of sugar? You cannot take sugar out of sugar. So therefore, whatever the substitute it for, it's got to be detrimental for our
Real.
bodies. And that's why sometimes we wonder why we can't lose weight. You know what I'm saying? So my other thing is, you've gone through the radiation, you've gone through the chemo, you've had your last boxing glove,
Yes,
right? And I know you're happy about that.
I am.
Did you have a lot of family support in all what you've gone through?
I did. I had a lot of family support. I had friends and family in the community that I did not know were just there looking for me all the time. I'm just so used to giving and giving and giving, and it was just hard for me to just sit still. But I saw those rewards coming back to me from friends, family, coworkers, and things like that. So you have to have a supportive system, and do know that it's going to be difficult. You're going to have some people who are going to really help you. Then you're going to find out, well, who I thought was going to help me may not have helped me the way that I thought they should have, and you have different things like that. But I'll always reach out. There's support groups out there as well. There was one, Miss Leslie Williams, who came up to me, and she was talking to me about Survivors on Purpose is hers, and she was a triple negative survivor about 10 years ago. And she called me, and she just took the time. I have an aunt who just took the time to just speak to me. And so what I want to do, I want to be able to speak those things back into other people, however I might do it. I'm doing it on this platform. I've done it with something that you've done before, Miss Valerie. I did it a couple of nights ago, and it's always different forms that I do it. But I do it just to help, and so that's my purpose.
So going through all what you went through,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of attitude do you have to have?
Well,
Because it's got to be hard, and there's going to be a woman out there right now who's probably just got diagnosed, and she's probably thinking, well, what am I to do now? You know what I mean? Is it like, because getting breast cancer to some people, it feels like a death sentence.
when you ask me that, I'm just going to be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to go through that with my mother. My mother was not healed on this side; she was healed on the other side. But when I got the call, I was upset. I was angry. I was pissed, and I can't say it no other way. I'm like, okay, God, I had to do this. Now you're gonna put me through this, like for real. And those were some words that I said to the Lord. And because I have a relationship, we can talk. And I was waiting to hear the answer. But I said to him, after I had gotten and gone through all that anger and the shock, I was like, okay, this is what it is, God. If we have to go through this, and I have to go through this, and this is my journey, and this is my cross that I have to bear, I want to be able to go through this looking like I have not been touched. I want your glory and your power and your light to be on me. I don't want to be so deathly ill that I cannot do for myself. And I can honestly say that the good Lord gave me everything that I asked. Um, uh, Music is something that's also dear to my heart. And so I relate to God in music and in beat. exercise is also important. And I do want to say that one of my biggest exercises is dance. And that's where I can connect to the music, but then I can have all of my other health benefits like stress free and having that adrenaline rush that gives you those endorphins that just say, hey, I'm happy. And so that's my happy place, the music, people, and dancing. And so I'm here for a reason, and I guess that's part of my journey.
So you see, ladies, if you are going through something, find something that you enjoy. You don't have to stop it because you've been diagnosed with breast cancer. It's how you approach anything in your life. You can make it take you down, or you can make it bring you back up. You can help make it empower you, or you can make it devour you. It's your choice. Everything in life, it's about your choice.
Mm-hmm.
And as Letitia just said, she goes dancing. She's been doing all the kind of things, and she'll come in here, make sure she gets her massages. And even though she had the breast cancer, I will still give her a massage, but I'll massage her feet and I'll massage her hands. I'm not going to touch any of the engagement side. And a lot of the time, we as women don't even realize how tight our body is. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to do a few little things to just explain something. If you pull your arm up like this and you feel all your skin pulling all the way up, then therefore your body is already tight and you need to start do something about it. I don't care if you don't come to see me. Find yourself a good massage therapist that's going to loosen up your body. Mm-hmm. Because the body needs oxygen, and I will keep on saying it. The body needs oxygen to live. Any pain that's in your body, it doesn't come from me, it comes from you, because your body has been telling you for the longest something is going on, and you will ignore it. You know what I mean? So stop ignoring those body pain, because you don't know if it's going to manifest itself into something on later on. It might not be next week, it could be next week, we don't know. But get to know your body, because taking care of your body is your business. Letitia, one last thing before we leave. I'm going to ask you a question, and you don't know I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
What does "don't believe the hype" mean to you?
Don't believe the hype. People will say don't believe things because it's kind of like all talk and hot air. But I want to say that don't believe the hype here to me is, hey, this is and if you believe and if you act on the things that have been taught to you or things that we've shared with you, that's called faith. And when you act out on faith, then you get truth. And so you have been some truth to me. So I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you everyone once again for tuning in. This is our first show of the new year. A lot has already happened, and a lot more great things are getting ready to come out of Purple Light Touch Foundation and PLT and the Don't Believe the Hype show. So tune in, and thank you all once again for all your love and all your support, and everyone that's come through here and has seen what we actually do. You don't know how much I appreciate everything that you're doing. Letitia, I want to tell you thank you very much for coming on our show tonight.
And I want to say this, a lot of people don't know, but there was a massage table that was donated here. And I want to say thank you, because you just never know who you're touching. That massage table helped me out a lot. And so I want to say thanks for the person who actually donated.
It was a combination of people. It was my birthday, and I said to them, all I want this year for my birthday, because I was 60, I just need a massage table that can benefit women like yourself.
And it helped.
You know what I'm saying? Because the one I was using, I couldn't do what I really wanted to do. So that's what God pressed upon my heart. It was my birthday was never going to be about me. It was always going to be helping somebody else. So all the ladies out there, it was a combination. People were just giving me money left, right, and center to ensure that we got that massage table. Because you never know who's gonna need it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So thank you all once again, and I will see you all again in about 2 weeks' time. God bless you all.
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype show.
Every Thursday, fortnightly.
For news, views, reviews, and more.
Join host Valerie Kelso and guests from 6:30 p.m. Thursdays, fortnightly.
Don't believe the hype show.